blind, thinking I can see through this and see what's behind. Got no way to prove it, so maybe I'm lying. But I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put your blame on me. Don't put your blame on me. Take a look in the mirror. What do you see? Do you see it clearer, or are you deceived? 'Cause I'm only human after all, and you're only human after all. Don't put the blame on me. Don't put your blame on me. Some people got the real problems. Some people out of love. Some people think I can solve them. Lord heavens above, I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me. Don't put the blame on me. Don't ask my opinion, don't ask me to lie. Then beg for forgiveness for making you cry. Making you cry. I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put your blame on me. Don't put the blame on me. Don't put the blame on me. Put your blame on me.
Yeah, don't shoot the messenger. Whatever you do, never a good idea. Yes, people, how are we doing? Thank you for your engagement and your time. Hope you can hear me well. Yes, Dollar. Yes, Brett. Yes, Ben. Yes, Rob, and everyone else. Oh man, it's been a bit of a rush to get all this together, and I've probably not done it justice. But I'm going to try, peeps. I'm going to try. We're going to try. That was just a tune, a remix. I'd have to thank Ginger Ninja for that. Ginger Ninja got in touch with me and asked me if I could do. She loved that tune, the original tune. And if I could just have a look at it and see if I could do anything with it. And that is what I come up with, the Manic Manx remix. Unofficial, of course. Probably get my ass spanked from here to next week if I get caught. But you know what? I'm not charging any money, don't want any money. This is all about people just enjoying high and good vibes and a good frequency. And music plays a big part in that. So as well as music being very therapeutic to me, as Rob was saying there, Rob was bang on it. He loved the mix. So it's done something for him. It's not hurt nobody, has it? Not asking nobody for money. Rob's not giving me no money, even if I wanted it. So get on that one. You know what I mean? Even if I said, give me some money for that tune, you don't tell me to do one anyway. Like, really? Really? And I don't blame you. Yes, Cockney Patriot, how are we doing, buddy? How are we doing? And you got notified. That is nice. That is good. Right. Yes, people. Let's start the show, shall we? Let's see where it goes. I'm going to start it with probably a very apt intro. One I'd done quite a while ago, and it merged basically what this stream is all about. Now, whether people got it within the context of the intro, but you'll see it. Hopefully you'll see it. It's a bit of Prometheus, which is talking about a certain theory of panspermia, plus it's got a line in it, the Drake equation. So it says so much when really, if you're not looking, might not say anything at all. So here it is. Welcome along. Thank you, my brothers and sisters. Red Pill Phil on YouTube, doing people's heads in.
Red pill, Phil. Red pill, Phil.
And that's not the right advert. Going on here, Phil. Get your head sorted. Give your head a wobble.
Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with you. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
Red pill, Phil. Red pill, Phil.
And that's it, innit? That's it in a nutshell. And it's not a question of it bringing it to me, but we're all of the same understanding. And one of the major reasons why I wanted to look into this, as well as I'm talking particularly about, just taking my shoes off. I'm talking particularly about doing this stream right now. I was looking at it, and it was almost like bigger picture, Phil. You know, the channel is a conduit for all types of things that you feel, and you know, maybe people agree, disagree, but the bigger picture is there's so many things going on world, off world, that we, the public, know very, very little about. What we're currently going through now is this process of divide and conquer, where for whatever paradigmal or narrative-driven schisms that's been injected into the population's then get into battle mode. Unfortunately, not with the mofos that are doing this injecting, but with each other on many different levels. And I'm literally, Ginger brought all this up into the open with the online abuse, which we've all seen in the background. It was just great that I connected with these ladies and we could make a bigger deal about it on this channel. And it will be carrying on. I'll be having another interview hopefully this weekend. So while the abuse, the heartache, people getting at each other, doxing, vindictive behaviour, going into real life, you know, all these comments are becoming just normalised. You've got things going on around you. If you actually use spatial awareness, look up, look down, look around you. There's so many different reasons why we should be looking at a bigger picture. And I constantly go back to the question of, why the hell are we here? What is it all about? You're not injected into this parallel just to work, to get your ass injected so you can go to the pub. There's a bigger purpose. What is the point? What is the reason for our true existence? So for me, I love swinging in and out of this. And we were talking about swinging, wasn't we? Not so long back on a stream. And I said I didn't do too much swinging. In fact, there's only a certain amount of swinging I'm prepared to admit to. And this is one of them, swinging in and out of this subject. And I can't stop because it's so interesting. So going back to this Drake equation, and hi guys, if you just jumped on, hello, how are you doing guys? I will jump into the comment section at some point. The Drake equation is broke down. I've never been good at maths. But for me, looking at this, visualizing it, makes perfect sense on the rationale that we're not alone. Almost as well that if you're talking through age, how old we are, as opposed to looking at the age of maybe some of the civilizations that might be out there. How have we got here? Is it panspermia? Is it a big bang? Is it an ultimate being that's just bestowed life on everybody? We'll end up fighting till whatever. One thing I will say though is what shook a paradigm not so long back is this article. Pentagon admits it has been testing wreckage from UFO crashes and findings may change our lives forever, experts say. Now, I've got to admit, anyone who has been researching and looking into UFOs and who's had a fascination from, you know, like me being a kid, from Close Encounters of the Third Kind probably, know that that's no big surprise. I'm like, right, welcome to the party. All it seems to be with anything that we research, isn't it, that if you've got that element of truth on your side and you know what you see, you totally firmly stand by what you believe in. Even if people ridicule you, the decades that people went through being ridiculed, seeing little green men, even going down to mental institutions, being sectioned because of some of the things that they're talking about. And then this comes out. So it tells you that the secrets, no matter the probability, the secrets. And this is firmly what I truly believe that's played a part in the growth of mankind and maybe further going all life form on our planet. Panspermia is the hypothesis that life exists throughout the universe, distributed by space dust, meteoroids, asteroids, comets, planetoids, and also by spacecraft carrying unintended contamination by microorganisms. Now, you could argue, well, the spacecraft bit, I don't know. What spacecraft are they alluding to? Are they alluding to modern day spacecraft? We've only had the technology to go into space, not even a century, have we? So is this an uber trendy term? Or is this slyly telling you that spacecraft, meaning that anything that has been traveling in our outer regions, has got the potential of spreading life? Going back to that advert, Promiscuous, that intro I use, the theory has been spoke about with civilizations for eons, the cave paintings. So it's there. The idea is there, star people. Ancient civilizations talk about it frequently. The Pentagon has admitted to holding and testing wreckage from UFO crashes in a bombshell Freedom of Information letter shared with The Sun. Researcher Andy Bragalia wrote to the Defense Intelligence Agency requesting details of all UFO material, which they hold and results of, and say it again, they hold and results any tests they have been carrying out on it. So there's implications all over the place with this. When people have said that this could be a possibility, then people have said, well, you're crazy. Now, this article alone tells you that not only is the probable life form external from what we see as our reality, got to keep it semantical, but there's actually been visitation with unknown technology to us. So that article itself tells you, never mind the Drake equation, but yet we're still all fighting each other and not looking at the bigger question that's really opening up right in front of our face. And this is the slightly frustrating bit when I do look into it and people say, what, the fake alien invasion with holograms and whatnot that's going to come. I think it's highly, highly disingenuous to say that. It's probably borderline ignorant to say that, when the question itself is far, far more superior. And I do apologize. I'm coming back into the comment section. Howdy, howdy. We are always crazy. It is always perceived that way. And it's the same with what we're doing now with this so-called true thing that we always want to try and ascertain. We want to do it, well, I want to do it in line with a higher level of consciousness. And I'm learning. I'm trying to become a better individual by doing both in parallel. Not trying to wake up but losing my shit at the same time because I'm getting angry because people are calling me crazy because I'm waking up. You've got to do it with the mindfulness as well, haven't you? So we've lived in this paradigm, and since I've been on YouTube, we've lived in that paradigm, haven't we, Dollar? I have. I started it in that paradigm. The paradigm where I was a Nazi. The paradigm where I was a traitor to my own sort. So by extension, I'm going to be off my head if I'm talking about bombings that have been coming from a radicalized sect and ideology that is contained within a certain faith. I'm obviously crazy and mad because the world is more diverse. We all love each other. And then we found out that it's not quite the case, is it? We found out that fundamentalism is actually a fucking thing. So don't be sweeping it under the carpet. And by sweeping issues under the carpet, it brings it back twice-fold like an elastic band with more force next time round. And that's how it feels. And it feels the same with this. Every time I try to watch anything you put out live, Red Pill Phil, they crash it. It was just on my smart TV before, now it's on my laptop too. Just crashed on me, upset chat. Don't know whether that's anything sinister or whether it's just networks or what. I mean, there's many ways where you feel that stifling going on, and we could go on about it. We all know about that, don't we? You know, there's no point in me sitting here crying about it either. You know, that's one thing I don't try and do. Go, oh, they're not put on me notifications, because I know they're doing it. They're doing it to you. They're banning you for waking up in the morning. You know what I mean? And that's the world we're living in. And you know what I love about this YouTube page? The people on it, right? And the people that have covered for the past 4 or 5 years, right? One thing I will say, they're not the ones dressed in black, wearing fucking balaclavas, throwing shit everywhere. And that was a direct quote from the video that initially got me called a Nazi, if you remember it. Because that was the one thing I accused of this set of people. They were malicious. They were aggravators. They wanted to instill violence in what they felt was an equilibrium. And it was bullshit. You could see it. The camera didn't see it because the camera was pointing at me. But believe me, what I seen was a joke. Now, what I'm saying is with this channel, I've had waves of Muppets that have wove in and out of it. I'm probably still attached as well. But generally speaking, we've had people on here that have had to put up with wave after wave of being castigated, vilified, called wrong, banned, shadow banned, ultra shadow banned. You know what I mean? In I don't know how many ways you can vilify someone. But I tell you what, people on here would be able to write a book. All of us. And this is all for trying to explain the truth. Not trying to get extreme. Not try to incite violence. Try to equalize what is currently going on in this narrative-driven world that only wants to push one way of thinking. And that narrative pushes all the way out, for me, to ancient civilizations, to UFOs. The narrative they want to put out is when they're good and ready. But then we talk about black budgets in the background, what they're working on. It is ridiculous. Man, don't half wind me up. Plenty of Muppets dressed as aliens on your channel, mate. Well, I find it hard to rebuff that at this moment in time, Rob. So all I can say is, well, I'll just let that comment lie. There's not a lot I can say. Back in and live. Yes, we're back. Yes, Lynn, back in the room. I think aliens might have took you off, you know. They might have took you to Sirius and back. I think we need to regress, Lynn. That's what we need. Are you up for a regression, Lynn? So you can explain what the hell just happened to you in that 5 minutes. I don't want to bring any unwanted feelings or emotions that may have occurred in them 5 minutes. We just need validation that something to go on in. And there's every chance that you may have entered another paradigm, another parallel, another universe for a few minutes. Yes, Auntie Amanda, I spoke to you in a while. How are you doing? Right, let's get into it a little bit. What else have we got? Right, let me start getting rid of some of these. Get rid of that. Delete some of these, make some room. That's it. Clean up after yourself, haven't you? Big hi to Katie Jane Swallow as well. Big day for Katie Jane Swallow tomorrow. I do believe it's the day she's going to be in court. So blessings and support goes out to you. And just keep us posted when you've got time and you are ready, Katie. That'd be brilliant. Right. This channel, I thoroughly enjoy what this channel is doing. Can I find it on here? Have I got it on here? Is it that one? Right. I'm just going to throw the link in. If anyone is interested, I'm not trying to push anything on anybody. I'm just trying to give everyone the information as to if they want to follow it themselves, then it's going to be there for them. So this is the channel that I've followed. Like I say, people might think, oh, there's plenty of better channel, whatever. All I'm saying is I've watched this guy's work and I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the way he handles himself. I'm impressed with the way he goes about analysing and the fact that he'll fact check himself, and it looks like it seems that if he sees something that he may have thought was one thing, he don't mind saying, well, it might not be that. And that you've got to give someone credit when they're doing that, because they're not just trying to push an agenda. It's difficult when you're talking about this subject as well. This is why I never pose it as that is a UFO, or if it is a UFO, that is aliens. UFO is ambiguous and it is quite, one of them broad terms you can use. I personally, UFO is accurate in a sense, but then the origin of that UFO has to be brought into play as well. And the fact you've got manipulation, particularly if you've seen it with your own eyes, that's one thing. Once it goes on a video format, it changes everything, because then it's all about credibility. and obviously then resolution. And then obviously with technology and how people can distort the truth with a visual. It's so fucked up when all you want to do is get to the truth. And people have literally lost all credit because they've not thought about how to approach it, and they've just gone out and said, no, this, that, and that. And, you know, get debunked. So it is difficult. It's very difficult. Do I get it right? No, I don't. Because I'm like you guys, I've got a basic feeling of how I feel, and I'll look at something and I'll go, right, I am in command of my eyes. I do know when I see something, but at the same time, I've got to be accurate on the probability or likelihood of what it could be, and that could be multifaceted. You know what I mean? Could be. Holland's coming up quite frequently in the comment section. There you go. What? Water and buckets? No aliens because there's no space. See, looking at that is quite... it all depends on how open you want to be on the subject, doesn't it? It really does. It really does. Who's to say that if there is something, if it comes from space, other existences, could it be paradigms? Could it be parallels? Do we understand enough to know how to get in and out, on what level, if there is multiple things going on, how they coexist together? Is it just literally simply a space highway where you jump down the planets and there's different shizzle going on, or is there more to it than that? It's a deep subject. There could be aliens, but if there are, they are here already, living underground in dumb bases. Well, mate, I can't say that that's inaccurate, because there's been many of people reported on underground bases. Was it Rob Schneider? He done some extensive work. I don't know whether he was a geologist, but he worked in the mining of underground bases. And some of what he had to say was fascinating. And he spoke about encounters. He reckons he lost a finger through a confrontation. So in terms of bases, this might scratch again to the black budget question. It really will. So let me move on a little bit, because I've got this chap. I've put the link in. Is it Phil Schneider? Yeah, I think you might be right, sir. Sorry. Or madam. Sorry if I get a name wrong. It's because I've not researched it as heavily as I was back in the day, because I've been on other stuff. But when I mention names, I'm recoiling things from the past, but obviously I might get one of the names wrong. So there's many different facets. So right, this channel. Okay, let me get into the bones of this channel if we can. They exist 2.22. That's a bit of a mad number. And you know the crazy thing was? I'm sure that was 2.21, wasn't it? But anyway, 22 is my favourite number. So every time it appears, I think numerology is playing a big part of something. But I was just looking for a couple of videos, and same again. The guy doesn't ultimately get involved in every video, but some videos he will do. On this one, I don't think he did. This could be construed as anything. I'm not saying it's aliens. I'm saying it's an unidentified craft of some sort. So I'm hoping you can see it. Apologies, guys. Okay. So that's just a couple of videos that were from that channel. And people can make their own conclusions as to what was going on there. The last clip, that looked very intriguing because it did seem like it was tilting as it was in the air, and it was at an angle as well. So there's something very strange. I'm hoping you're back. Yes, Lynn. Come on, Lynn. I think you need regressing. Something's happening to you, Lynn. How many times have you been to Sirius in this stream already? Seriously? Get to it. Well, the bigger question, illegal immigration. Is it happening by air as well as it is by sea? By unidentified craft? Is it? Is it a line of inquiry? Are you sure it's your sound, Lynn? Come on, Lynn. I would like you to sit, lie down, close your eyes, right? I'm going to talk very slowly, okay? 3, 2, 1, you go. Okay, Lynn. I want you to report on where you went. Because it's freaking me out, Lynn. It's freaking out all our subbers, Lynn. Just so happens we're talking about a stream about possible UFO visitation and the ramifications of it. And you keep coming in and out of different paradigms right in front of our faces. You want to come to my planet? You're welcome at my planet anytime. Planet, what is it? Planet Rongan? Planet Rongan? Come in. You're welcome. Population 1. And I can't even handle myself at times. So it's going to be a sticky place to be at, Lynn, but you're more than welcome if you can handle it. So anyway, digressing. Right, this one was a fascinating one. This is going down on this guy's channel. What I didn't realise with this is that this then sparked something that I was looking into in the mid-early 2000s. At the time when I was looking at it, I don't know whether you guys are like it, I don't always thumb up when I go in to watch videos. When I was skimming through YouTube, I didn't even always take names of channels or videos. I just literally skimmed in and out, and the recommended YouTube clip had maybe just set me on a journey. And before you know it, Jesus, I'm all over the place. But there was, didn't always take in. So I never knew the chap's name who had done this particular line of inquiry and footage. Now, from this video or this channel, UFOs Worldwide, brilliant, absolutely fantastic channel. Like I say, this video was down there. Now, this video is, it says here, John Leonard Walson. So I thought to myself, right, now I'm going to look at this. When I looked at this video, it was a series of stills depicting what is a guy or a individual, it's a guy obviously called John, using a powerful telescope that is able to go stratospheric with his imagery. And back in the day, when I was looking at it, some of the footage that I was seeing was mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. It was showing what should have been, on a perception, things that were miles long. Whether it was revolving around our atmosphere or what was going on. The weirdest thing is on some of these captures that he had, these things were moving and jolting. And when I say moving, I don't mean forward and back moving. I mean like re-clicking into place, like it was a jigsaw puzzle and It's just suddenly changed its form and shape. It was fascinating. Now, because at the time, I never took the guy's name, who it was, and, you know, I kind of, whoa, what that is crazy. I put it off as, you know, something possibly extraterrestrial, possibly black budget. From the strength of this guy's video on this channel of UFOs Worldwide, because it was only a series of stills, I then tapped into YouTube, John Leonard Walson, and I got this. Now I'm like, that's a big thank you to this guy. Big thank you to, because now he's took me to something that I looked at years ago that I'm like, right, let me get into the bones of this a little bit, yeah? So this is the guy that you can see there with his photo, his actual heading, his photo, that he's got some powerful ass telescope, and he's done moonshots. He looks at all types of stuff. I went to look for that video on his channel, and I found it. I duly found it. One thing I will say first is the video at the beginning, because I'd never known what this was. You just put it to bed, you move on. On this chap's video, it had this at the beginning. Let me move this comment. Right. Professor of Experimental Philosophy, Institute of Astronomy. So that's who it's from. And he sent it to John Leonard, this chap in question. Hello again. So that implies that they've been, you know, in a regular communication, or at least once before. And again, my congratulations on your superb astrophotography. You are clearly getting some images at almost the diffraction limit of your telescope. So I'm saying, mate, you're getting everything you can out of that. I don't think you can get anything more out of that. In the very sharpest images, there are hints of diffraction rings visible on the edges of the satellites. That is, of course, the absolute limit of optical performance. And this is only rarely attained, interestingly, the process you have of using a high quality imaging. So that's an eminent guy that's bigging this guy's up for his footage. He's not saying, mate, you're full of shit, you don't know what this is, He's saying, man, you're getting something there? Then check this bit out. Something which has been developed and applied somewhat by one of my colleagues here. You might like to look at our local webpage presenting some of this. So he gives him a link. You might also be interested in a journal produced by MIT, is that? Lincoln Laboratory. So it shows where, you know, if we're talking black budgets, I'm not saying any of these, I can't prove that any of these people are receiving black budgets, but if work is going on and no one knows about this, covert work, does it fall under black budgets? Which is a group which has built some of the things you are seeing. Much of what they do is what used to be the Star Wars project, which no doubt involves some of your objects. They don't talk about the military satellites, of course, but there are many discussions of Earth surveillance and related issues. It is distributed only to academic organizations, so you may need to get your local library to borrow it, but you may be able to get this for free. Yeah, so you look at that and you think, man, these guys, there's so much. I mean, so he's basically alluding to that possibly being military-based surveillance, satellite. Is it? I don't know. It's showing a technology that is far superior to what we currently have. And for them to develop that technology, guess where it would have come from? But they don't want to admit that until probably now they're starting to squeeze the bums a little bit. How much money has it cost? How many years has it taken? How many people have died trying to talk about this? How many people have been vilified, jailed, banned for talking about this? It's a truly fascinating, stupendously interesting, but also at the same time, the saddest thing. When you see how big a question this is, the implications to it all, and the element of covert behaviour and just basic skullduggery that goes on, that means people, the average person, finds it hard to get to the truth. But there's so many reasons why it's there right in front of your face. At least that's how it appears. I'm just trying to now get to that video. Hopefully I can find it now. I have got it hard copy if I struggle, so I can always. So that's it. Here we go. Right. So you look at this. Right. You just have to bear with me, guys. 1 second. Oh, yes. Sorry about that, folks. Right. Shall we get into this? And then I'll go to comments. Where are we? Okay, right. Let me get this sucker up. I mean, I can actually unmute that. So as you can see now, that was the email. Now, as we're looking, you can see the imagery here that is picking up with this ultra powerful telescope. That's a still. I think later on it comes to moving pictures. And for me, it blows me away. So it begs the question of the sightings that you see. Ultimately, can you trust it? Are they all alien based? Are they black budget? But going back, that keeps popping up, you know? So we're getting onto moving pictures here now. I mean, if these, the size of these things, try and get into your head how big this thing must be. And we don't know for sure what it is. Even though we've had this eminent person, you know, it might be, but what have they modeled it on? It brings up so many more questions. This is stratospheric. This is way out there. Well, it's like a submarine, a stratospheric submarine. What the hell is going on? It's not for me to put any blanks in there. I don't know. All we do know is our current mode of technology when it comes to space travel. What the fuck is that? Why is it sat there like that? Well, it's clearly not sat there. I'm sure it's moving. Can you see the movement within it? The thing's jolting about. Well, sir, honestly, this is a perception bending kind of image that you're looking at. Because you don't know what it is, but you know it's far exceeds what we know as our reality. Just looking at it, looking at the many forms. I know there'll be an element of distortion because of the sheer distance. I had to say it's a hologram. I mean, I don't know how you can say that, Mike, to be fair, but you know, you're entitled to your opinion. I mean, if what you're saying is true about it being a hologram, I mean, only people with a high intensity telescope can actually view it. So I wouldn't say that. They're not watercurs, mate. Honestly, this guy's work, he looks at the moon. I mean, if you're implying that it's underwater, I'm not sure whether that's true because I can go through his channel. The guy uses the telescope to look externally outside of what we know as our planet, our plane, whatever you want to call it. So it's certainly not an underwater thing. However, what the hell is up there? But it just begs a question. It really does for me. Let me go back in. Right. See what else we can get. And this is some of the stuff he does as well. He literally looks at the moon with that said telescope. And it's amazing footage. When I'm talking about uber close-ups, the uber close-ups, there's no doubting that the guy is getting imagery that is probably at the edge of our perception in terms of vision of what we can actually view. So look at this. I've not seen this one, so I've no idea what it will be. It could be anything. 2020. So you can see that was 2000, early 2000s, that clip. This is a more recent one in the UK. So is this guy English? Sounds like it. Could be. Goes right into it there. It's hard to say what it is. Hard to say. But see what else. Okay, let's have a look at this. Move on a little bit. I just find the subject fascinating because we should be more spatially aware of where we're at. And going back to the Drake theory, there's so much going on around us. And the irony is, you know, you've got YouTuber calling out YouTuber, creating all kinds of abuse. You've got little kids being abused online. You've got grown-ass men going after women online. And it's the most low-grade shit when the biggest questions are, you know, ultimately there to be answered. You've just got to raise your vibration level. Stop getting so wound up with the woes of life, because that ultimately will all become a product of it if we allow that to happen. And let's all ask the bigger questions, and let's work together with a bit of unity to try and get them bleeding answers, you know? So, yeah, images from what is perceived as the moon there, you can see. So, interesting, really interesting, fascinating. So if there's any comments. Yeah. Well, isn't it? You're going to see Wallace and Gromit any minute now. Yes, Dollar. Yeah, you're quite right. Secret. Well, I'll look into that, mate. I like cheese. Did you find that bit of information out through regression, Lynn? Did you find out that you like cheese while you were on your way to Sirius or on your way back from Sirius? Because you've done some journeys. Are your feet tired? Do you find that you're a little bit more tired than you was before the street? Might be because you've travelled like a few star systems or something, Lynn. Telling you. Yes, Dollar. See you later. Blessings. What we're looking for. We're not, not necessarily looking. I was just literally went into a random video that this guy done. I basically wanted to show what his telescope was doing on that occasion. And this is just going through some of his work. Oh, let's have a look at this one. This seems to be showing it again. So should we have a look at it again? See, this is another one though, so I don't know what. Could it be? I wonder how high. How high it is. Look at that. What is it? Is that just light reflecting off it, or is that its own self-illumination? Why is it that shape? How long is it? If it is black budget man-made, how the fuck was that assembled? If it's not, then I don't think there's any good scenario with this, is there? Because if it is black budget, then what the hell's going on in terms of technological and money that must be used, and the reason why that thing's up there, what it's actually doing? Military satellite? I don't know, but what the freaking hell? If it's not, and it's something else, then we've got a bigger problem, haven't we? And if it is black budget, we've still got that bigger problem, because if they've been able to garnish this information through back engineering alien craft, we have got a bigger problem. Because what the fuck have they modelled this off? And if they've modelled it off any one thing, or used an idea off any one thing, That doesn't mean to say that technologically that one thing they've modelled it off is their highest point of technology. That could be the most basic form of technology that they've back engineered. So then you think to yourself, well, how far do you goddamn go with this? But no, let's just get online and abuse an 8-year-old because I can't handle my shit and I'd rather just be grumpy with people. I'd rather start doxing people. I'd rather start misunderstanding, misconstruing other YouTubers just because I don't know them. But you know what? My ego's pumped up. I'm fucking sick of COVID and all the lockdowns. And instead of me handling my shit right and asking bigger questions, which will make me internalise on myself a little bit, no, I'm going to outward it, aren't I? I'm going to go out, I'm going to dox people and get into their real world. I'm going to treat them like shit. I'm going to go online as a professional troll. And I'm not talking about the 77 Brigade either. Well, it makes you think, sir, doesn't it? What's it running off? The Watchers. True, mate. True. And it's annoying. Because ultimately, I'd like to think, you know what, if someone's going to take, I was looking at some of the black budget estimates and it was something like 60 odd billion or something crazy. And I think to myself, well, it'd be great to know how much if we invest in any form of black budget activity, we probably do multinationally, don't we? I mean, this could be a multinational project, couldn't it? Wouldn't have to say it's America. But what's going on? The money involved. If this was built to make civilization a better place, to make us all prosperous, literally tiptoeing to the stars, I'd be like, you take that money, you do something. But it's not, is it? All this technology is being used and we don't know about it for the past 50, 60 years. Is it all filtering down? Do we assume that? Is everything's filtering down? Are we assuming that people are rinsing out black budgets, creating the technology and using it again, whether for their own gains or against people? And that's without talking about the fact that it's probably come from alien technology itself, and they're keeping that from us. So there's an element where being treated like a mushroom here, there's no good element, because if I could see, well, all right, guys, we've been working on this, it's cost us, 300 fucking billion quid over 30 years, but you know what? It means we can now live like this a little bit better. It means we can now, we're literally moving to the universe here, guys. No, we're not. They're keeping us on planet Earth, fucking arguing with each other. Getting people online, giving them shit online, making them either want to run away and never want to go online, even though they had every right to be there for asking questions, or just to create havoc. And that's what really pisses me off. That money should be going to make us all better. But no. We're being stacked on top of one another. Fucking racked and stacked. All the social issues that come with that, no one's addressing it. The world's getting angrier. No one's addressing it. Meanwhile, the black budget's being raped from now till fucking next month. For what? Sorry for the rant. But we've had 50, 60 years of these bitches back engineering. Who's benefiting from the back engineering? Man, so annoying. That's the frustrating thing, Ben. But we're all fighting one another. And that's what does my head in. That's why I wanted to do this. Look at the bigger picture. Look who we are. Do we actually know our place in all this? But we're weaponized. And then we're weaponizing one another. Then we're toxifying. Then we're getting dysfunctional. Meanwhile, they're laughing, jumping from stratosphere to fucking stratosphere. Like, God damn it. Yeah, we are, Lynn. Come on, Lynn. Come on, Lynn. I'm not going to stop till you get regressed. Sorry. Do we have to crowdfund for Lynn to get regressed? I want to know where she was in the first 10 minutes of this stream, Lynn. Was you on that machine that we'd just been filming? Try and think. Please. Try and work it back. Let's back engineer it, Lynn. Fucking hell. The knowledge you might have. Man, let's get it out while we can. Before they delete my channel. Yeah, since Roswell, they back-engineered the crash craft, but they also made contact with the aliens and handed back the... I mean, there's a lot of allegations that went on. My place is beside you and everyone else in this chat room seeing this channel. Yes, Lynn, loving that. Gardening all day. Sorry to hear that. But you know what? Something positive out of it, isn't there? Your garden's going to look mint. There you go. Who's benefiting? The military industrial complex. Look at profits of arms. I'm telling you. Meanwhile, the narrative's just driven right back on the people. You're the racist. You're the this. You're the that. You're told you can't go out your house. You can only go here. You can only mix there. And you look and you think, what? The lifestyle you guys have got, the technology that you're utilizing, not only to further your gain, but to further hinder the people that are in the dark over this. And then people go online to go and try and find out questions because they're asking. What happens? Because it's so toxified, it's like sticking your hand into a fucking bucket of acid. You don't want to ask a basic question. You want to look into CSE or abuse. All of a sudden, you're called a frigging racist. All of a sudden, you're told that there's more white paedophilia. Who said the fucking wasn't? Don't mean I can't talk about it. Stifling my ass. You got to talk about anything. It's left us here with more questions, more higher consciousness, because we've took the crap over the years through looking into subjects. Man. Yes, Carl. Hey up. You're deflecting. It's your Nazi friend Adolf is calling the shots for a moon base alpha. Don't post this and confirm my statement. I dare you. Well, sorry it's out there, isn't it? I'm sorry you've seen into my evil, crooked deeds, Rob. So there, innit? The Corbynista clocked it. She could see it right through my bones as I goose-stepped up to her, just to inquire why she was calling everyone Nazi. She swung it on me, and true with it, clearly freaking true. I'm a deflecting son of a bee. That's all I've been doing all this time. Deflecting my way out of this. How can I not let them see this moustache that's growing that resembles someone else's moustache that wouldn't look good on a photo? How can I deflect from these pants that look strikingly like the pants that they used to wear when they done that funny walk back in the day? Man, sorry, Rob. You've caught me, mate. Busted. Messing with nature is a serious crime against humanity. It is. Without a doubt, what's happening. Mate, in terms of this clip, I don't know, just ranting on and these geezers are still on here. I don't know. I have no idea. Right, so, it's crazy times, isn't it? I'm probably digressed a little bit too much there. But it is indeed crazy times that we find ourselves in, innit? Innit? There we go. Look, he's in. He's in the room. Yes. Let's have a look. Well, this is for everybody. Build a business and unite like-minded people. Like the elite, they have parties and group meetings to discuss how to move forward. It's live chats. Best we can do. Ben, it's wise words. It is wise words. And be the change you want to be, innit? So if I want to see a world where online abuse not happen, people chill out, then I've got to provide an area where it doesn't happen. Or I've not got to instigate myself. Or if I do see it, I have the balls and the courage to go, it's wrong. You do it, don't you? You take the hits because ultimately down the line, you're doing it for the right reasons. This ain't for the fight. This ain't for ego-based. This is because I'm sick of all the backstabbing and fighting that's getting us nowhere. And meanwhile, bigger and bigger questions are looming over our head. Meanwhile, you've got more and more people extracting wealth from us muppets that we can't articulate, that we're being plugged. We're being plugged by other forces. And there's so many things that we can do about it, but we're not choosing to do it. We're choosing to get on each other, pick apart each other. I mean, when you look at that there, that military thing, you think, why are people going online dogging out any one YouTuber? Look at that footage there. Look where it's come from, how the fuck it got there, how much it cost, and what's it doing? So why dog some geezer that lives 5 miles up the street just because he's putting out his version of frigging truth? But yet you've come out with this cavalier attitude that I'm online to make sure that this doesn't happen. But then all you do yourself is create your own abusive ecosystem if you're not prepared to deal with it responsibly and with obligation. So before you know it, every fucker's in the abuse game, one way or the other. I'm going to be speaking to a guy called Simon. I'm not going to say too much, that's about it. A guy called Simon. He's going to be very enlightening as to what's been happening on what he's covered. And the material he's shown me, I'm seeing. I've got to say it. I'm not going to call out names. I want to fucking say it. I'm seeing jumped up people that have got no more charisma, right, than a fucking ashtray. They've got nothing else in their life but to create havoc online. Their sole purpose of their channel is to sit there with their arrogant attitude, making other people's lives online a misery. From the course of this footage that I've watched, I've seen one individual that I wanted to interview, and I'm not going to mention the name, that I watched this person go from genre to genre, and each one of them, they got abused. The last bit of footage I see was a geezer arrogantly sat on a stream with this individual, knowing that they had private information about this individual, texts, they spoke to the family members of this individual, right? This individual come online to say, will you stop basically stalking me? Stop it with the online stuff. Before you know it, this individual is having to defend their own life because this other asshole that's got an ego is sat there with all the information trying to pull this person's life down. And I thought to myself all the way through this, who the fuck is this person? I tell you now, if someone had gone speaking to my friends, if someone had got half a dozen texts and they had the fucking cheek to call me online, can you answer to this? Can you answer to that? You know what I tell them? Dude, mind your own goddamn business. Worry about your own life. Don't you dare dig into my life when you know fuck all about it. And I'm sorry that the individual that that went through this didn't think to say that. Who the fuck are you to pull me online and start getting me to defend my life when you wasn't there, you jackass? You jackass. Knowing that this guy has pulled this person through the coals, defending their own life on the justification that this person is not a survivor. This person is creaming off the surviving. So that give him justification to dig into the life and then twist it. And then have the cheek to pull him back on and go, defend your life in front of me on live. Are you having a laugh? Are you having a laugh? So that's coming up. It's coming up, man. Shocking. There's too many victims in this. Too many. And I'm not one of them for even naming. I didn't name one person there because I'm trying to do this with an element of class. Because I'm not going to make this a battle between YouTubers. But I'm going to talk about it. Man, sick. So seriously, these people that are doing that, look at these, whatever it is in the sky. Look up, think what is going on. It's a big, wide world out there. We're all getting bumfucked from one place to the other. So working down and grinding down your fellow man is not the way to ascend on a true higher consciousness. For fuck's sake, when we don't even know what's going on in our skies. I'm sorry. Does my head in, man. And I tell you what, this is making me stronger. This is making me want to go, you know what? Come the fucking time I'm coming back out and I'm going to start owning some of you fuckers. And I don't want to be like that because I'm not here for that. But there's only so much fucking bullying any person can witness without going, seriously? Seriously? Lucy Brown, Tony Bugle, Janea, Dolly, these girls, Ginger, Amber, you name it, Samantha, Ellie Reynolds, Ellie Williams, you name it. Should be fucking ashamed of yourselves. Whoever's doing it, ashamed of yourselves. Because all you're doing, you're ruining what bit of the true community has still got fucking breath. I'm telling you. And you're bringing everyone else who is trying to do it in a fair and honourable way into disrepute. And you're also showing what a freaking psychopath you are. You're supposed to be on here with an obligation to help people. And look at you. Sorry, Dolly. Sorry. Yes. Don't worry about the trolls, bud. They will crumble and fall. I'm not worried about the trolls, mate. I'm worried about people that get affected by trolls. Like I said, anyone could come on here and try and give it me. Man, I'm a bit stronger than that. I can take it. What I don't like to see is people that can't. We have to sit there and go, you know what? Trolls. When you see this woman come on, and it was a grown-ass man pulling a woman on a live, who is a survivor, come out as a survivor, having to defend. This guy wouldn't concede, didn't think he was wrong in doing what he was doing, and he was carrying on doing it. He's got a section of his YouTube buddies that do it. And this is one facet. This is why, with what Amber and Ginger done, all they made me realise is that this is going on everywhere around you. Everywhere. And it's stifling. And if I'm going to come out talking about grooming, abuse, sexually, looking at the plight of survivors, it's only the same with the effects of online abuse. So I'll say, this is a strong thing to say, but I'm going to say it. A troll, in their purposeful, malicious intent, is no better than a paedophile with their sexual gratificational intent. The reason why I say that is because the correlation's the same. The spirit and soul that is left with someone that has been abused, whether it be online or sexual, I'm not saying it's a pissing contest. It's not for me to say which one's worse, but the effects. I've seen the effects of someone being online, being verbally abused online. People have committed suicide for this. So, you know, yes, Rob, I've got to go anyway. I've got to go. I've got to get tea sorted. I kind of went off on one there, and I'm sorry because I don't like to merge stories, but the main premise was, you know what? This world is fantastical. We're being bought and sold. There's stuff going on all over the place, and people are so low grade they want to either argue with each other or rinse each other out online. And if we're going to blame the establishment for doing that, we've got to blame these trolls. We've got to blame the malicious activity that goes out. We've got to blame the intent of groups of people that think this is fine to target other groups of YouTubers. That's all I'm saying. Look up, for fuck's sake. Go and get regressed yourself. You've probably been to Sidious half a dozen times and you don't even fucking know it. So anyway, guys, I'm going to have to go. I love you all. Thank you for your engagement. Anyone who's watching this retrospectively, muchas gracias. I'll follow this. I'm going to run with this again with other different angles of it as well. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay positive. There will be plenty more content coming up as we move forward. So yeah, without a doubt, don't worry, guys. Stay blessed. Stay positive. Stay in the light. Love you all, even the pissinators.
I love you. 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 I love you.
Even the pissing haters.
I love you. 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 I love you.